The Queen City Center for Spiritual Living shares the idea that we live in a spiritual universe of life, intelligence, beauty, and harmony that expresses as form all around us, and it expresses through and as each one of us. As we awaken to our oneness with infinite spiritual perfection, we may know that our awakening beliefs automatically express as greater good in all areas of our lives. I am Ned Green, and like so many of you, I practice what is called positive thinking. It is based on an understanding of the creative nature of thought, and we endeavor to think more along the lines of that which we want to experience and less along the lines of that which we don't. And I'd like to add something of depth to that. An idea of a sense of self. That is, that every one of us has this deep inner sense of I am and its connection to all of reality. And it is this deep, basic sense of self for each one of us that has a tendency to set the overall tone and quality of our entire life experience. So it is good to always have a greater, a deeper sense of our own self. I can look at this as a shift in point of view of less one of being a physical being in this material world that happens to be alive and intelligent and can do things, and more that I am an energy being or spiritual being, some part of a universal, intelligent creativity, so that it is from my creative nature that I am able to express as a physical being into this wonderful material world and engage with it. And it is this shift in point of view is particularly empowering. That is, to be the creativity rather than happen to have it. And I was particularly inspired by an idea along these lines from Buckminster Fuller. He was a writer, a philosopher, an early proponent of the environmental movement. He coined the phrase that we are all passengers in the spaceship Earth, and he was an architect, most famous for inventing the geodesic dome. And he said this: I live on Earth at present, and I don't know what I am. I know that I am not a category. I am not a thing, a noun. I seem to be a verb, an evolutionary process, an integral function of the universe. I love that. Here he starts out with a recognition that there's a lot that he just does not know. In other words, he has an open mind, which is a very valuable quality to have in developing a deeper sense of self. And he rejects the idea of defining himself by the categories that he's in. And we all have categories: our nationality, our gender, education, career, our place in a family structure, and so on. But these things are not who we really are, if for no other reason than all of them are temporary. And he says he's not a thing, a noun. He says he seems to be a verb. And if you think of verbs, to live, to celebrate, to share, to be. All of these verbs are descriptions of an ongoing expression. To be a verb is so much deeper than being a thing. Although, if you look up the word verb in a dictionary, the first thing it says is that it is a noun. Really, you can look that up. But being a verb is a deep place to be. And he goes on to say that he is a verb that is an evolutionary process. That is, if we look at creativity itself and see that there is a universal principle that is evolution in its broadest sense, that there is a tendency to always express as the greater in the very long run, to express as the better in some way. That way, if we see ourselves as a verb, part of creation, that is part of this, then we can get a sense that we are working with life and that life is for us. It is good. We can be in harmony with it. And he goes on to say that he is a verb that is an integral function of the universe. That is, that each one of us is not only a part of creation, a result of creation, we are part of its cause. That universal life principle, the creative principle itself, is the essence of our being. And that being an integral function of the universe means each one of us is important. We have a place, a unique place in expressing all that is. A very empowering place to be. And when we get a sense of this, then we can say, I live on earth at present, and I do not know what I am. I know that I am not a category, I am not a thing, a noun. I seem to be a verb, an evolutionary process, an integral function of the universe. And it is from this point of view, having a sense of connection with the deepest aspect of reality, that then when I go to practice positive thinking, to affirm that which is greater health, prosperity, and harmony, and so on, that it is more a sense of revealing something universal flowing through me, as opposed to reaching out for a good that is outside of myself. I find that this is stepping into the empowered positive thinking. And I share that with you. And if you find this idea to be interesting, thought-provoking, you may click on the like, the subscribe right in the comments. And you may know that the Queen City Center for Spiritual Living, and really all of New Thought, invites you to awaken to your spiritual magnificence. And so it is.